Hake reportedly distracted her older brother with a card game before committing the abuse. We'll tell you more in this edition of Newscast. And whereas the police in Bamenda was still to recover from the dirt of two colleagues killed on Thursday, alleged separatist fighters struck again on Friday, this time at the Maifo on Quen in Bamenda 3 subdivision, leaving one death and 2 injured at the security checkpoints along the busy Bamenda Mbambi Road. Tell you more equally in this edition of Newscast. And the Sultan of the Bamun, Nabil Mbombonjoya, has made a public appeal for peace between his people and via Tika neighbors. Addressing the youth, he urges calm and emphasizing the importance of unity and peaceful coexistence. Good evening once more and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. And we begin on a sad note. A 6-year-old girl has been allegedly raped by a nurse in the Kanye Integrated Health Center in Batofan in the west region of Cameroon. The nurse who was administering her care reportedly distracted her older brother with a card game before committing the abuse. Local residents claim this is not the nurse's first offense and he has a history of exploiting patients and guards. The community is outraged and investigations has been launched by the Bayanga Gendarmerie. Will bring you updates in our subsequent editions of Newscast. Whereas the police in Bamenda, northwest region of Cameroon, was still to recover from the death of 2 colleagues killed on Thursday by alleged separatist fighters, have struck again on Friday this time around at Maifo Quen in Bamenda 3 subdivision, leaving one dead and 2 others injured at the security checkpoints along the busy Bamenda Mbambi Road. More on the story with our reporter Saleh Sherifa Anyi Collins Anyi.
It was yet another day of bloodshed last Friday in Bamenda, with a local bomb explosion that killed a police officer, injured another and a bike rider at Maifo Quen. The bomb was planted in one of the old vehicle tires lined up to slow down movement of vehicles at the police security checkpoints between the entrance to the Bamenda 3 Divisional Officer's residence and the Quen Fon's Palace.
In the morning when I came here, I didn't do anything, but after, we just heard an explosive. So it was so surprising because we never noticed anything around.
The repercussions of the explosion was also felt on the houses across the road after striking this car from a distance, as noted by officials of Traffic and Road Safety Department of the police, whose elements were victims of the attack.
I just got the noise and places were covered, very dark. That was a bomb. So I just struggled and I cleared by the side of the road.
Blocked for several hours, traffic circulation resumed after the police finished their on-the-spot preliminary investigations, during which time commuters were compelled to meander through secondary and tertiary roads in the quarters. Friday's bomb blast was the second incident involving the police in Bamenda within 2 days, with a balance sheet of 3 deaths.
And we stay in Bamenda, northwest region of Cameroon. But we revisit last Friday fire disaster at the always busy motor spare parts market, which has come to confirm that Bamenda had undergone a 3-day chain of calamities ranging from attacks on security forces to loss of goods worth hundreds of millions of francs CFA. The traders say they remain prayerful and are hoping to God for help. More in the following story with our reporter Saleh Sherifa Anyi Collins Anyi.
Arguably considered as the heart of Bamenda's economy, this is Fun Street business area just behind the commercial avenue. Specialized in the sale of automobile spare parts, this commercial center over the weekend suffered a fire disaster that ravaged 15 shops and warehouses. According to the few people who lived around the continuously busy area, the inferno began at about 8 p.m. before the army was Implementary methods were employed to handle the situation, beginning with disconnecting the corrugated iron sheets.
We struggle, we look for things like we drum, we try to play them so that the population can assemble and help to put up to an extent where they use but a gun to destroy one lock, and then the captive of that gun wounded somebody on the jaw, but it was not really serious. We still continue and destroy other locks and penetrate the house.
With words of comfort pouring in from friends and well-wishers, owners of affected shops say they are prayerful to God to replenish.
I believe God.
One of the greatest losers is said to be the owner of a solar energy shop who had no option than packing out the debris, which are just as good as scrap iron particles.
And the Sultan of the Bamoun, Nabil Mbonjoya, has made a public appeal for peace between his people and the Thika neighbors, addressing the youth. He urges a calm and emphasizes the importance of unity and peaceful coexistence. More info story.
In
a heartfelt address aims at quelling rising tensions between the Bamoun and Thika communities, Sultan Nabil Mbonjoya has called for tranquility and mutual respect. The Sultan's message was clear. My vision is to build the known, not to destroy it or create divisions. Ancestors worked toward this cohesion. In this situation, let us allow the government to act. I am for peace and peaceful coexistence. The Sultan's remark come in response to escalating violence in the Nun division. Recent clashes in Magba on August 8 between the Bamoun and Thika communities resulted in 3 fatalities. According to official reports, the violence occurred during the launch on the Guan festivities, which were intended to bring together all communities in the Nun division.
Je salue vraiment en passant la réaction de Sa Majesté Fonfelfoum Nabil, qui non seulement a demandé à son peuple de se calmer, mais a donné la place qu'il faut à l'autorité.
The Bamoun monarch has decided to relocate the war activities to the districts of Fumbot, Kutaba, Jimun, and Magba to involve all local communities. The tragic events in Magba highlights the urgency of the Sultan's peace initiative. This incident follows closely on the heels of a major peace prayer organized by the Njoya royal family just 5 days prior. The Sultan's plea for calm and unity is seen as a crucial step in diffusing the current tensions and fostering reconciliation between the Bamoun and Thika groups. An operation aimed at clearing the van travel agencies of criminals took place over the weekend. The raids by the National Gendarmerie was marked by interrogations, a search, impoundment of goods, motorbikes and other objects. Known for its high crime wave and offenders, the move aims at ensuring a safe and secure movement of persons and their properties. More with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
Invading the Van neighborhood with travel agencies, refuge of thieves and outlaws goes with strategic planning on the steps and moves to take.
Dès que nous on arrive, ça va créer certainement un électrochoc.
Sure of themselves, the message and instructions trickle down for the mission to begin.
Making sure that in the area of responsibility where we are launching the operation, bad guys are shifted from a good one.
These travel agencies harbors all forms of insecurity. snatching of bags, stealing, people complaining every blessed day of situations. There are even cases of killings, deaths, search of cars, buses, persons and the luggage they are transporting. The results so far, good. Their catch.
People without IDs, with bags in which we discover a lot of prohibited objects.
Those found wanting were arrested, brought to the gendarme base for further investigation. Those with prohibited objects will be sent to the state prosecutor. Started at Olembe Motor Park, then BMRC, the process will continue in all agencies and even in neighborhoods where they feel the need for gendarme security. All this is about proximity gendarmerie. Actions coming at the end of this holiday period, strategic period also for movements of persons from one place to the other.
And we now take you to Bicha Village in Banganthi subdivision in the west region of Cameroon, where the deteriorating state of public school has left parents in a shock just a few weeks to back to school. And this situation adds to the list of challenges faced by the community. More in the following story. This is Bicha, a village grappling with numerous issues. Here, electrical cables lie haphazardly on the ground, and the village lacks both a market and an accredited health center. Located about 40 kilometers from Banganthi, Bicha's struggles are evident.
We don't have a medical center. The one you see here is a private owned. That is, it operates as it pleases the owner. There are days it's operational, there are days it's not.
6 years after its establishment, the local public school is in a state of disrepair. The furniture is infested with termites, and the building constructed from temporary material consists of only one office for the director and 3 classrooms serving students from 1st to 6th grade. The crumbling condition of the school is a major concern for many parents as the new school year approaches in just over 2 weeks.
Regardez l'école. Have a look at the Bicha public school. I doubt whether children will go to school this year because parents are tired of taking the burden upon themselves.
Parce que les parents sont fatigués.
If the states don't intervene and come to our aid, then we are finished.
With the community's worries mounting, all eyes are now on the public authorities to address these urgent issues. And stakeholders are planning the budgets for the next 3 years, are fine-tuning strategies towards a strong public investment budget for economic growth reflection to align policies and priorities. And strategies have begun this Monday in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. 10 days to come out within the very secured programmatic instruments and documents to defend the budget. More with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
Finalizing projects that are going to help Cameroon accelerate her development in the next 3 years, the many priorities of the state budget under examination at the conference opened this Monday, August 12 in Yaoundé.
Discipline in the preparation and maturation of the new projects should be also certainly considered. Third, we should be able to also understand that the economic context is not a very easy one. Therefore, we should be prioritizing. We should be able to improve on the quality of our expenditure, and we should be able to also address the development expectations of our population.
For the years to come, emphasis will be on investment, for it is possible with powerful planning, programming and budgeting documents.
It has been clearly established that with strong public investment budget, we are able to create a very strong growth in our economy. We have been doing that in 2016, where we had 8% of our GDP allocated to investment. We are about to do so during the coming years.
Imperative to align our policies to our priorities and strategies. goals based on performance achieved, carried out by the National Development Strategy to that effect. This 10 days extended conference on budget, programming and associated performance, time to assess how to adjust our medium-term expenditure framework aligned to the Vision 2035 to the outcome of the discussion with the head of government and parliament.
And Cameroon has launched a consultation platform for young persons to share their challenges and make recommendations as a means of contributing to the adoption of a new national youth policy. The digital platform was launched this day in Yaoundé by the Minister of Youth and Civic Education. More with Hyson Chia.
From Cliquez to progress, youth and the digital sector at the service of sustainable development is a theme of the 25th edition of the International Youth Day, an occasion to reawaken the young people to exploit digital opportunities and create impact for themselves and the country.
They should capitalize the opportunities offered by this digital economy in favor of their socio-economic integration instead of having it to spread hate speeches and other fake news.
The celebration of the 2024 edition of the International Youth Day in Yaoundé was also a forum for Minister Mununa Fosso, flanked by other members of government, to launch the Youth Consultation Platform as part of the revision of the National Youth Policy.
Cameroonian youth are invited to subscribe themselves and to come upon the Cameroon National Youth Council through our website www.cngcnyc.info. This national consultation should reflect the aspiration of Cameroonian young people, their desire for the next years coming, so that it will be done with the youth, for the youth, by the youth. So we are inviting all the Cameroonian young people to join their forces, to join their voices with the Cameroon National Youth Council, so that we can be able to have a national youth policy that reflects the aspiration and the various needs of the Cameroonian young people of the 10th region and the diaspora.
The over 1,000 youths also listened keenly to the message of the United Nations Secretary General, urging them to harness their potentials to be able to overcome the standing economic challenges.
And the 2024 Olympic Games are over, but while some countries like Cameroon will be spending some time contemplating the reasons for the competition's underperformance of its flag bearers, others like Kenya and the USA are celebrating their superlative. More with our reporter Cliquez Jr., who now revisits the list of the biggest winners' history.
The curtains finally came down on the 2024 Olympic Games Sunday evening in Paris. Tallying the medal harvest, the scoreboards indicate that Africa's representatives at the competition won a total 39 medals. These were backed home by 12 countries, amongst which Cameroon does not figure. And so after 2 weeks of competition, the USA emerged dominant on the medals tables. The Americans are trailed by China and Japan in that order.
Lyles rings the bell, and there's Snoop Dogg in the stadium.
Meantime, Kenya topped the list of African nations with 11 medals. The East Africans are followed by Algeria, South Africa, Ethiopia, and Egypt, which make up the continent's top 5 medal winners.
She was magnificent.
In all, the 39 African medals include 13 gold, 12 silver, and 14 bronze. It is worth noting that in Paris, the African continent fared better than in Tokyo in 2021, where the continent's medal harvest stood at 34.
Thank you so much, Cliquez Jr. And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is the brief with Lil Piejou. As for me, take another rendezvous, same time tomorrow. Good night.